Hi, Mark here from the Tangent-Bound Podcast Network and host of the flagship show, the Tangent-Bound Podcast. Did you know that we over at Tangent-Bound are always looking for amazing podcasts to promote? And did you also know that we are also proud nerds and geeks of everything from movies, music, gaming, TV shows, and comic books to wrestling, MMA, soccer, and football? Whatever you can nerd or geek out about, we've got it. And if you're interested, we can help you find it. And if you're a show looking for a place to call home, we've got you covered. Side effects may include upset stomach, dizziness, tumors, shakes, and in some rare cases, death from excessive laughter. Though to be fair, it's only sometimes. Other side effects may include diarrhea, gallstones, heart palpitations, and strong desire for cookies on the dark side. Talk to your doctor and visit TangentBoundNetwork.com and see if Tangent-Bound Network is right for you.
This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
We'll get you back to your regularly scheduled podcast in just a minute, but we wanted to introduce ourselves. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake on this highly produced advertisement.
That's right. It's the History of Bad Ideas, a.k.a. Hobie. You can find us on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast and on Facebook at the History of Bad Ideas. But if you like a podcast, roundtable with 3 to 5 guests, usually every week, depending on sick leave, talking about all things geek, including movies,
TV.
I ain't getting paid for this shit.
Blake bitching about something and ranting, and comic books and anything else that we can think of. We have a top 5 list every week, along with a box office news, and somehow we have listeners. So they send us some feedback we answer every week. You can find us on iTunes,
Stitcher,
Facebook,
Spotify,
and any good podcast app, because if you can't find us on that podcast app, it's not a good podcast app.
Damn straight. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Welcome to the podcast from Temperance Town, the sexiest podcast of world renowned. Tony grows a beard to hide his chin, swaps it with Earl so it glistens. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Download the pod, you won't get enough of these dapper chaps talking deadly fluff. In Hobo Gulch they run a homeless mission, clanging and banging with the pentagram of kittens. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. They enjoy their whiskey and local craft beer. By Odin's unkempt pubis, we give a cheer. Tony's a raccoon when he's booziest. Don't be a savage, be an enthusiast. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. On the frozen tundra, they call it a lock. Tony likes to masturbate in a sock. Brian pisses rocks cause it feels so great. I still don't know who the fuck is Tate. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. The boys will let you know when there's a due to male pattern baldness, they don't wear curlers. Stay salty, people, that's their closing line. And don't forget, have a beer, you'll be fine. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty language.
Hey enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Wow. Geez. Salty Language episode 412. I'm not cutting that out. I'm leaving it in.
Yep, Heno's here.
Yep, Heno's here. You know, it's funny. That song, there's a few songs over the years that when you hear it and then you consider who's singing it, it makes me laugh a little bit. And like that, if you look at Rod Stewart at that time with his If You Want My Body and You Think I'm Sexy, he looked like just a rat chewed on his head. It was, it was not a good, it reminds me of the Dennis Leary joke where he talks about clothes in the 70s. He's like, here we are at the height of the sexual revolution wearing clothes guaranteed to not get us laid,
yes, yeah. The video is amazing for that song.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Like, it's just funny to me that he's not a guy that, but then again, I guess the whole 80s thing, there were a bunch of guys from the 80s that I remember, I guess just whatever, musicians in general, there's been a lot that I've seen, women go crazy over. I'm like, really? That guy? Like, all right. But it was that, and what was that one? This is from forever ago. The Walk Like a Man, where the guy's a super high pitched voice and he's singing "Walk Like a Man, Talk Like a Man," And God, who the hell is that? I can't remember now.
I don't remember that.
Oh, it's from like the 50s or 60s, something like that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And every time I see that on one of those Time Life,
That's a woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, it's.
I talk like a frog.
No, not that. Nope.
No, not that song.
Nope.
Because that also had a high voice.
Okay. No, it was the
What
Four.
you talking about, Willis?
It was the Four Seasons. That's who it was.
Oh,
So it's Frankie Valli.
Like a man.
There you go. Yep.
Talk like a man.
I just love it's like, really, there is no hint of testosterone in your singing, but it was just always funny to me growing up that, or, watching the video of John Travolta in Staying Alive, with the lyrics of that song. It just, I just enjoy those things. They make me laugh. That's all. But,
my wife's back.
Yeah, I can tell. I can see her. No one else can.
Yeah. She's been gone for 3 weeks.
Wow.
My bachelor reign has come to an end.
Yep, no more underpants hanging from the ceiling fan.
Yeah, no more leaving it. Wait, I do leave the toilet seat up. Never mind. Got my own bathroom.
Yeah, but you were leaving hers up too.
That's true.
You weren't even using it. You just went in there and put it up on principle.
I just left it up. And then one day there's something wrong with my bathroom, so I walked in there and fucked myself by landing right in the water. Oh, damn me.
Yeah, it
By
happens.
the way, I got a nice new desk lamp. It's been a while since we've chatted.
Yeah,
it's
it has.
cool little.
Oh, wow.
Little desk lamp. Yeah,
that is bright. Jeez.
It's like, ooh, yeah.
Wow, it makes
See
you
my
as white
face
as
now.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I need to bring up the Skype video to see this. Holy cow, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So LEDs, it was like $20-something bucks. It's got a little gooseneck thing and it clamps and a little light. It's like awesome. So that way I can, in the morning, I'm not turn all the lights off. I can go sit down on my desk and just crank that little baby on.
Go blind. Yeah.
Yeah, especially right now since I got fucking conjunctivitis.
Ooh, fun.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really exciting. Now I know everything there is to know about conjunctivitis.
Sweet.
There's 4 different ways. 4 different types of conjunctivitis.
Is there like a Schoolhouse Rock video for
There
it?
really should be.
Because it feels like one of those words like conjunctivitis, like.
It's instead of junction.
Yeah.
Conjunctivitis.
Like, this has really changed since I was a kid.
This is really different. It's all they got a whole new series of Schoolhouse Rock. It's like Schoolhouse Virus.
Yeah.
It's all the shit that you end up spreading around. So,
Yeah.
it's like they start with pink eye.
Yeah.
Right? You have conjunctivitis.
Yeah.
They do pink eye. Then they do what they got to do like chicken pox.
Yeah.
And that song's got to be all about your mom taking you over to the neighbor's house. It's like all covered.
Oh yeah, the old chicken pox parties. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and then they'll have a really cute one for just the common cold.
Oh.
I'm just a cold. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
my
only a
God.
cold.
I'm just a common cold.
Yeah, and then accidentally somebody froze in fucking herpes.
Oh,
and
boy.
the kids are like,
Yeah.
huh? What?
Like, what? Yeah. Today's
That was-
episode.
That was supposed to be just for us, man.
Yeah. Today's
Not for the
episode
kids.
of Virus Rock is rated M for mature. I'm like, what?
It just the one on herpes just starts about what happens in Vegas stays in
Yeah.
Vegas, except herpes.
Oh my god, yeah, because the herpes virus guy, they have a cartoony version of him, of course.
Of course, I'm a herpes virus.
He's in like a
His
leisure
name's Herp.
suit. Yeah, Herp. Yeah, good
A
call.
leisure suit, yeah,
Yeah.
instead of herb.
Yeah.
It's herp.
Yep. He just looks like a slimy used car salesman from the
Yeah,
70s.
just big,
Yeah.
huge lapels.
Yeah. Got a medallion on,
Yeah.
looking. Yep.
Except he acts hip hop, because
Yeah.
he wants to be, modern.
Gotta be cool for the children, right?
Yeah, for the children.
Turns his hat backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
He's got
man.
tattoos.
Yeah, of course.
Just a
Oh.
glimpse of one underneath the wrist, because he's got full sleeves.
Oh, of
under
course.
there.
Yeah, right.
Because children, not only can you get the AIDS from unprotected sex,
Oh my god.
but sharing needles.
That's actually, I was just thinking, as you started that, I was like, yeah, because you see, at the end of the video when, they're kind of doing a recap, and he's like, I'll see you in a future episode or 6, kids.
Terrible.
What is this greaseball doing? Yeah.
So the funny thing about my conjunctivitis was, it was like last Thursday. Yeah, I got home from rehearsal, and all of a sudden I'm just like, God, my eyes just kind of watering, and it's getting kind of late at night. And I'm like, I should just go to bed anyway. Just go to bed, wake up, just big old crusty eyeballs, like ugh. And it was kind of red, but it wasn't that bad,
Mm-hmm.
And so Friday night I had a gig and did the gig, and it was obvious that my eye was a little bit closed.
Mm-hmm.
By Saturday morning, it was just gnarly. And I get to the gig on Saturday night, and our kind of band leader, our primary singer, is a doctor. And so Tom looks at me, he's just like, "What's your date of birth?" And I'm like, my date of birth for? He's like, because I'm calling in a prescription for you for that shit, because that doesn't look fucking good. I'm like, he's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. Because I literally thought I just got something in my eye. I got splashed by. I didn't feel like I got splashed, but we do service these humidifiers, and we use an acid mixture,
Mm-hmm.
and it just I really couldn't tell, but I was like, it felt like I had a hot spot, like I might have gotten something in there.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls that in, which is great on Sunday. It's an anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
He's like, if this doesn't help, then, go see a doctor, because, in the meantime, I start looking this shit up, and I'm hoping that I want to give it a couple of days to see if it goes down. So
Yeah.
Tuesday comes around, and the one thing he said is, he said, you put an ice pack on too, or try heat. And I usually don't do heat. Doesn't usually make things better for me. It can
Yeah.
sometimes make things worse. But fuck, that felt good. I put the hot thing. I just
Oh, really?
wet rag in the microwave. Yeah, and got it felt so good. But eventually the anti-inflammatory helped, but it looked bad. I mean, it was blood red, and my eye was like closed. And by Wednesday, my eye was starting to open up a little bit. Didn't hurt as much anymore. Like, for Monday night, Sharon and I went out to dinner for our anniversary, and that night it felt like I had something in my eye.
Did she make you wear an eye patch? She's like, I cannot sit and stare at that for an hour.
Well, one of my coworkers literally wouldn't look at me. She's like, I can't look at you, man. I'm like, what's the big deal? I'm like, I hear it's highly contagious. Let me get a little bit off my eyeball here and give you some.
Right? You go to blink and it just squirts at her. Yeah.
Here, let me squeeze it.
Yeah.
Here, I got to sneeze.
Yeah.
So finally, like, by Thursday, I was just like, okay. I started feeling kind of crummy.
Yeah.
And I even blew off going to the gym, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to the doctor on Friday, and it's just that, it was just a hassle to go all the way home. I was like, and I don't have any reason. Like it's like I don't have anything going on this weekend, whatever. So I go in the doctor today, and they're just asking all the questions. And like I said, in the meantime, I was in their doctor's office just reading everything about conjunctivitis. So, you have allergies, so you take antihistamines if you got that redness. So the conjunctivitis refers to the part of your eyeball that is where your inside the conjunctiva, which is where your eyelid covers the white part. That's what gets inflamed, right?
Yeah.
And so, you get itchy eyes from allergies, right? Take some antihistamines, and I'm like, all right, take antihistamines all the time, so it's not that. And that's why Tom was like, well, here, I'll give you this anti-inflammatory. If you got something in your eye, then this will help with it. Well, that didn't help. So then you have viral and then bacterial conjunctivitis, and the kind that we all know about from one kid gets in school and everyone does. That's the viral one,
right? The one we learned about on Virus Rock, yeah.
Exactly. On
the one Herp told us about.
School, good old Herp told us all about it. Oh Lord! Now I'm just imagining the bear one, where it was instead of a scary bear, it was scary as syphilis. It was a bear. Oh boy, it was so scary. So the doctor, I said I wear contacts, and that was a weird thing. It's like I was wearing my contacts, and it wasn't bothering me. It was, it really wasn't that painful. So I really didn't think it was that big of a, I kind of hoped it would go away on its own, but it didn't. So a guy gave me, I got antibiotics today. It was my doctor who I love. I dig him. He's just a totally cool guy, but it was great. As I told him, I said, well, I play music with a doctor. He took one look at me and was calling it a prescription because they're like, what's his eye drops that, that you have here? Because they can access my records at Albertsons, I'm like, oh, well, this is what happened. I'm like, it's really funny. I got my doctor and well, not my doctor, but a doctor and my dentist are in the band, so if there's any problem, be like, hey, Brian, what do you think of this tube? But then I was told him, I said, but then again, I fix things, so they like that about me. And he's like, it's kind of we're all trying to fix things. And I'm like, yeah, but it's fascinating when like the dentist who's got all these crazy lasers is fascinated about the fact that I jacked up my car and I fixed the front wheel, thing and posted it on Facebook. He's like, whoa, why, I'm like, dude, you got a doctorate.
Yeah.
But it was great because my doctor, he's like, hey, I fixed my own cars. He's like, the key is when to back away. And I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like I'll go for anything because I know the limit. I know the point where I go, nope, I can't do this.
Yeah. Above my pay grade. Yep.
Yeah. But until then, it's just troubleshooting. And he was saying the same thing. He's like, that's what I'm doing right now with you. I'm troubleshooting.
Yeah.
I have a list of things and, So he gives me these drops. I have to put one drop every 2 hours. I'm awake. So I set my alarm because I'm like, fucking every 2 hours. Jesus.
Yeah.
But hopefully it'll make it go away fast.
Yeah, hopefully. Jeez.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. I'm tired of being like the Grace was like, we're going to do an eye test, so cover your right eye. And I cover my right eye and I'm reading it and stuff. And I got my new glasses on. I said, now cover your left eye. Cover my left eye. I'm like, oh shit. I can't see anything. I just had my eye appointment. Oh, wait. My eye is massively bloodshot and swollen. No wonder I can't see a thing.
Yeah, right.
Oh, the best part is when you said, usually when I go in there, whatever nurse is in there, whoever I end up with at first, does not give a fuck about what I'm wearing. Like, literally, I walk in, I got my tool belt on. I got a Leatherman on there, a flashlight. I'm in Carhartts. I've got boots on, and they'll tell me to stand on the scale and not take a single thing off.
That's funny.
I'm like, you just,
wow.
And same thing with the height thing, right? Well, this guy's like shoes off.
Yeah.
Hat off. And so when he did I'm like, how tall am I, by the way? Because the last time I lied about my height.
He's like, well, according to the chart, you're 6'7". Now without the boots.
Yeah. The best part, he's like, you're 5'7.5". I'm like, oh shit, I lost a quarter of an inch. God damn it. Then I told him the story about all my coworkers and that we all fucking measured each other and said, pull out the driver's licenses. We're going to see who's a liar. It was so funny. I'm like, we put the driver's licenses on. I'm like, my fucking ass, you're 6'1", dude.
Right?
I'm like, what the hell, Omar? I'm like, he's...
It's like wrestlers, they always bill them taller than they actually are, Like a lot of times over the years, the guys that they'll bill at 7 foot are actually like 6'10". They just wear like a little thicker sole on their boot so that, it pushes them up to that point.
Oh, man. That's the thing, like, I don't, when you don't realize, how there's like tall people that you don't see them as tall?
Yeah.
And Tom, who I play music with, I know he's really tall, but I just don't see him as tall because typically I'm, a distance from him. But whenever I go to check his microphone, I'm like, oh shit, fucking Tom, you're tall.
Yeah, somebody got a milk crate? Yeah.
Somebody got a step stool?
Yeah.
Check Tom's mic.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like, Tom, you're sitting down tonight because I don't feel like checking your mic.
That's funny because when I first started playing with him, he was sitting down.
Oh,
because he went over his handlebars on his mountain bike and snapped his neck.
Oh, that's a good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, that's what Dr. Greenberg says. That once you get over your 40s, you got to watch gravity, water, and speed. He said that's what he says. He's like, guys your age, if you've made it past a certain point, right, and you didn't end up with those, the cancer of your 30s.
Yeah.
That if you make it, typically the 40s, you'll be good. And then you get the early 50s, that's when those pancreatic cancers hit and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He said most of the people that I deal with, they're trying to keep up with their kids.
Yeah.
Or they're still trying to be, young.
Trying to be young. Yep.
And,
I can still ball with you. And broken ankle.
and dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
And concussion. I'm just a ankle break. I'm only. That's what they should do as Schoolhouse Rock for dumbass midlife crisis men. I'm just a vet. I'm a Chevy Corvette. And you think you look cool driving in it.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's so accurate. I saw one of those the other day, actually. Oh, man. I saw, Tony and I have talked on here before about, what we used to talk to each other as like a hero of the day kind of thing. And wow, did I see one tonight. This ample gentleman walked into the store I was in, and dude, he's got, I don't know, maybe 4 hairs left on top of his head, but they're combed back. Like, you can tell this is a dude who used to probably have a luxurious mullet. Like, okay, he still has all the rest of it, just, the snow caps have melted, and the rest of it is just cascading down his back. And I mean, like, the middle of his back. That's how long this hair is. He's got the old skullet, basically. And he's still rocking those 4 hairs and got them slicked back like they're covering anything. And he's got a handlebar mustache like he's James Hetfield. And, dude, he walked in, and I shit you not, he turned and, did a hair flip. And I was...
No!
I don't know if there's ever been a point in my life where I wish I had my camera out and shooting more than that moment.
We're going to check with our field reporter and see what he thinks about this.
No, sir. I didn't like it.
It's like I almost wanted to go over and be like, sir, I'm going to need you to come back through and do that hair flip again. Oh, man.
Oh, you should ask him if you could braid it for him.
Man. Oh.
Sir, would you mind sitting down with me on this bench here? I need to braid your luxurious locks.
I must draw you.
With my... Here's my card.
Yeah.
I must draw you.
Yep. He lays out like, in Titanic.
I need to braid your hair with my teeth.
Be like,
because I need one of them stuck in between my incisors. Could I floss maybe with one of your hairs?
Oof. I don't think you want to. I will say this. Like, he did not look like a man who takes good care of his situations, but his hair looked amazing. So I'll give him that. I mean, I'm jealous. I wish I still had that, kind of luxurious hair. No, I don't. I don't. Especially not that. Like, if I could have it on top of my head, sure. But not just the back. Not the old mud flap, No thanks. But, wow. He was something. And I stood there for a minute because I wanted to try to get a picture of him, for everyone. And,
for the world.
For the world, yeah. And yeah, it didn't work out because I was next in line, and and then when I turned, like a unicorn, he was gone. And, that was it. It's, I got to bask in his glory for those moments, and, I'll never have it again.
Speaking of unicorn, somebody filmed the Perrin Bridge, the Prime. Perrin. Fucking A. What is wrong with me? Anyhow,
I don't know.
It's the Snake River is where Evel Knievel, launched himself.
Yeah.
Perrin. I fucking live here and I don't even remember it. Anyhow, they do. Everyone base jumps off of it. Somebody base jump riding a big old huge stuffed unicorn. That's brilliant.
Why not, right?
Why not?
I hope the unicorn made it okay.
Exactly.
You get halfway out and you realize it's not a Pegasus,
Yeah, yeah. Perrin, yeah, that's it. Perrine.
I've made a mistake. Yeah.
It's 486 feet.
That's it?
Constructed in 1926. Yeah, and that's where I think Evel really wanted to launch at this location, which is now just right to the east of it, which is now a Best Buy. But Twin Falls wouldn't give him permission, so he ended up doing it a little bit further along on some private farmland. Perrin Bridge is the 8th tallest bridge in the United States. Huh? Who knew? I should probably know that.
Sure.
Go figure.
Yeah.
It was opened in 1976. Are you serious? They started it in 26 and they didn't finish it for 40 years later?
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Taking their time. Jeez.
I know. Huh.
Oh, man.
Nah, okay. Originally, I guess there's a replacement bridge? Oh, there was an original cantilever bridge. I see. Then they made this one.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So, this week, I just, it's funny how most of my rage stories come from being in stores.
Rage!
Oh, man. And, although,
share the rage, Brian.
Actually, before I get to that, I got to tell about one more thing that this guy's the honorable mention hero of the week. So my brother and I we're coming back here, and I see like the traffic is just backed up, and I'm like, what the hell? It's just it's a Friday night, but there's nothing in the area we were in. That's like there's nothing there. Like there's no reason for there to be traffic backed up. And then we realized it was because there was a police car that had somebody pulled over. And as we're slowly rolling past them, I got to see this guy gloriously fail his sobriety test.
Oh!
Because he missed his nose twice with the old, like touch your nose thing. He walked the worst straight line I've ever seen. And then he threw up. So, either this guy's got a concussion,
Oh shit!
or he's hammered. So yeah, I saw the cop immediately, like, you know, he grabbed him before he fell because it looked like the guy was going to fall, and the cop kind of, you know, grabbed his arm and steadied him, and then let him, you know, as we were going past is when they were kind of leading him to the car. So yeah, and obviously they're just letting him off with a warning. So you know, I was like, whew, I was like, that guy's gonna be sitting in the dry tank over, well, maybe the weekend. I don't know how long.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty heroic effort, though. I'll give him credit. He gave it a go.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite is a friend of mine, guy I used to work with, got pulled over for one, and the cop said something about the field sobriety, and he just looked at the cop and was like, "You should just put me in the car."
Exactly. That's
like let's not pretend we both don't know I'm drunk. Basically,
exactly.
I was like, "Yep." I was like, "See, that's the move right there." Just like I'm not going to insult you by trying to pass this. let's just move it along. So yeah. All right. So my rage thing is, it's funny. Like, I actually have like 2 old man rants for the night, and the first one is, I'm in the store the other day and I'm throwing some pop into the cart. No. And while I'm there, you know, I've got my cart positioned in a way that I can easily put this 24-pack of pop into the cart. And this woman in one of the motorized carts comes up, and I mean, she is literally like on my ass. Like, if I took any sort of a step backwards, I'll be falling into the cart, you know? And I'm like, okay. Well, then I hear her, and in my head, serious? I'm like, really? Like, and I turn around, and I was like, I'll be done in a minute. Because it's like, if I move, now it's harder for me to turn and put this in, like, just the way it was angled. It's like, just give me, yeah, whatever. So I decide I'm going to get a different, like, I had put Coke in there. I was going to go get a Mountain Dew. So as I go around, like, because picture a square, right? And so as I go to the other side, another one comes around, and all of a sudden I'm like, am I being cornered by, like, this weird, you know, biker gang? What's going on here? But this woman blocks the other way and then gets huffy because I have the audacity to, you know, put a product in my cart. And I'm just like, well, then a woman comes from the opposite way, and we're just at an impasse here. Like, you've got 2 carts that we can't get past because they're right in the middle of the aisle. And we're just like, okay. And I stand there and I'm like, and these 2 women are sitting there, and I'm like, what do you want us to do? I'm like, we can't go anywhere because you have us blocked in. Like, what do you want here? And, you know, just the way so one of them moved. And again, like, as they went by, I heard one of them be like, he didn't have to be so rude to the other one.
Oh, God.
And I'm not going to lie. I wanted to tip this woman right out of this cart and just be like, good luck, and walk away. Because it's like, okay, look, I'm a nice person, you know, despite what I just said. You know what I mean? Like, I say please and thank you. I get out of the way of people when I'm at the store. I try not to get in their way. You know, if I think someone's trying to get around me, I'll move in, you know. But it's like, you know what? Just because you're in one of those motorized carts doesn't mean you get priority. Like, you know, I'm already in a spot. You got here second. See, how society works is you wait. You're next.
Right, yeah.
You know, like, you don't skip the line. This isn't, you know, an amusement park. And
my favorite part is
yeah, right? And it's like,
it's just so, dude, you turn around and you're like, oh, passive aggressive.
Yeah, right?
Nice to meet you.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Part of me wanted to just, walk back and forth, kind of like, like, do I want this? Pick it up and be like, no, I don't think I want.
Start checking out every single label.
Yeah.
Oh, do you see how much sugar's in this?
A lot of sugar. I don't know if
43 grams of sugar. Do you know how big a gram of sugar is? Here, let's go over here.
Look at you. Of course, you know how much sugar is in here.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. You know how much sugar? Oh yeah, you clearly do.
Yeah. Oh man, I just
fat ass.
I've got no room to talk. No. Anyway, so it's like it's just chapping my ass because it wasn't just them. It's like I'm noticing this more and more at these stores, like that have these things. Like these people driving them act like they own the place, and it's like I said, it's like, no, you, like, here's all you need to know about how much of a priority you are in that cart. There's still 2 shelves at most stores, or at least 1, that you can't reach while you're in that cart. That's all you need to know about where you rank on the list. No, it like I said, it bugs me because it's just like the entitlement of it. It's like, oh, I'm sitting in this, so you have to get out of my way. And it's like, well, no, because if I was there and somebody was pushing a cart through, I would have reacted the exact same way. Like, hold on a second, I'll be out of your way. I'm not going to move my cart just because you want me to. Not when it's in a position to where it's easier for me to move this thing. I'm sorry. I was here first, So, yeah, that was just making me angry.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah, it really does. It bugs the shit out of me when people do this stuff, and it's like, we're all here, we're all trying to navigate this place. It's like, how about let's just not be assholes to each other, How about let's try that and see how it turns out. I bet it goes okay, like, I bet things work just fine. So, yeah. Like, I'm not going to lie, it took everything I had to not basically say that to her. Like, listen, just because you're in that doesn't mean you're special as far as anything goes. Like, you're there and you got to wait. So, tough. Although, I guess she could have just kept hitting me with the cart, but...
just ramming you.
Just push me right out of the way, yeah. Show me what's going on.
Yeah,
just runs me over with the thing.
Seriously, would not surprise me. Would not surprise me at all.
Some tire marks on my forehead. Stupid youngsters, Which is funny because it's an old man rant, but it's, but it was 2 women that were, I'm assuming, older than me. They looked way older than me. So, I mean, and that's taking into account my boyish good looks. So,
Exactly.
Oh, man. And the other one, I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, the way people behave in public is one of those things that, much like language and different stuff, should evolve. There should be kind of acceptable things in public and not. So, and now that we have these phones, I feel like at some point there needs to kind of be like a new set of these things kind of,
like updated etiquette.
Yeah, because I was in, I don't remember a store it was the other day, and this woman gets a phone call, and she's walking around the store obnoxiously, and she's just got the phone. I'm showing you, not that anyone else can see it, but she's got this phone like right up to her face.
Speakerphone.
She's got it on speakerphone, and it's like, if you're gonna hold the phone like that, just put it to your ear. Or wear
normal.
Yeah, or get a Bluetooth or wear your headphones with the mic. It's like, I don't need to hear your whole conversation. And
exactly.
She was so loud. She had her volume on her phone turned like all the way up.
Of course she did.
And she's just like half yelling into this thing. And I mean, it wasn't just me. Like, other people are walking around and they're all looking like what the hell? It's like when you're somewhere and you hear somebody typing on their phone and you hear the click, 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 and you're like, really? Like, that sound shouldn't even exist. I know I talked about this once before because I sat through an appointment with a woman just sitting there typing on her phone on it. But you know what I mean? It's like these are the kind of things I think are like new etiquette things. If you want to talk on your phone, hands-free, loud as hell, do it in your car. If you're out in public, like you're in a store or a public space, try to tighten that up a little bit so you're not yelling all over the store. You know, like, come on. And same with the clicking thing. If you're one of those people out there that has not turned that off on your phone, I hope you get ran over by a motorized cart. No.
We have a no cell phone rule at the health club, just at least in the gym section. And there was a woman on the treadmill speaking into her phone with it on speakerphone. I was like, wow.
See, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like really, I understand. It's really not a big deal, but at the same time, it's just rude, you know? Like, I wouldn't walk around the store with a friend yelling as loud as I can at them. And that's essentially what you're doing.
Pretty much. Yeah.
You know, like I try to, you know, when I walk around a store with somebody, I try to talk at an average level. I mean, yeah, people can still hear you, but, you know, much like at a restaurant, there's an acceptable level. And then there's those people who you're like, really? Like, everyone in here can hear you. Inside voice. You know? All right. So my old man
the
rants.
best part
Feel better.
You go up to the person like it's a dog. Inside voice.
Yeah.
Inside voice.
Right? I really wanted to because it was really obnoxious. And, you know, and then the woman just started laughing. And she had one of those, like, cackling kind of laughs. And it was so loud. I'm surprised you didn't hear it, actually. It was so loud. It was... No, I don't know. Like I said, it's just tough because I don't know. It's just obnoxious. You know? Like, no matter how you want to look at it, it's like no one else wants to hear your conversation. Well, maybe some people do, you know.
Well, that's true.
I do not want to hear the conversation. So, yeah.
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 That's good rant.
Yeah. Which leads me into, because I actually was just like, you know, I almost just said figure it out. And it's because I've been watching Letterkenny a whole bunch. And much like Tony said to me when I first said, hey, I'm watching Letterkenny, when he was like, yeah, you're going to be talking like them. And he's right. I've already caught. What's funny is one of the things they said in one of the episodes quite a bit was, like, does this chap your ass? Which is something, I don't know where I heard it, but I heard it years ago. And I've said chap my ass for, I mean, there's record of it on this podcast well before I ever, but, you know, it kind of makes me laugh because I always enjoy when someone else says it because it's not something you hear a lot, at least in the U.S., you know. I don't know if maybe in that area in Canada it said more or something, but yeah. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that show, but oh my God, I don't know how many times now I've said pitter patter, and you know, because the phrase in the show is pitter patter, let's get at her, and
Lord,
and I just, you know, like let's get going basically, and I've actually, you know, today my brother was dragging his feet on something, and I was like pitter patter, and he goes what? And I was like, oh sorry, it was just the first thought that popped in my head, you know. So. Yeah.
Terrible.
I was like, all right, maybe I need to back off the show for a little bit. Otherwise, I'm going to, you know, start saying out. And but I am enjoying it. It's a good, fun show for, you know, anyone who may be interested, or if you've been like, oh, that looks funny. Yeah, go ahead and watch it. Or don't. Whatever. Not my problem, man. So what do you got? You got stories and things?
Not really.
No? All right.
I kind of already wowed you with my bleeding eyeball.
All right. Well, see y'all next week.
Yeah, because. Oh, come on. There we go.
Yeah.
There. Y'all been learned.
Yeah. Oh, what'd you learn from Salty Language this week?
Everything to do with conjunctivitis.
All I learned is I don't want to watch these shows anymore. These Schoolhouse Rock shows scare me now.
They scare me. especially that Herp guy.
Yeah, I feel like Herp's that guy that, like, if you had nightmares about the Tooth Fairy, you're picturing Herp as the Tooth Fairy, probably. You know.
I suddenly
Oh my
pictured
God.
Tom Arnold.
Oh yeah, that'd be terrible. After I said all that, the first thought that popped in my head was the Herp Fairy, and
oh yes.
Oh man, what a terrible!
Because it's so because you know what? I was just somebody was comparing. I think they were comparing Donald Trump to herpes or something like that. Anyhow,
Wow.
but then they had to feel bad about it because they're like, well, you know, herpes is actually really, really shitty, you know, because there you are on your wedding day and you're all stressed out, and then all of a sudden here comes the Herp Fairy. Here, have a hot pus oozing open sore. Bing!
Yep. I just picture
little mini Herp flying through the air with some wings.
I just picture Herp as one of those guys that always puts his arm around you when he talks to you, and he's a real close talker. You know, like he's almost whispering in your ear while he's talking
but now
to
he's
you.
Little and on your shoulder.
Yeah, you know, and you're just like, dude, back up a little bit. Like, come on.
Hey, I noticed that. I noticed that you've been getting really stressed out at work.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm here, because you know, stress.
Right.
You know that. You know, is hidden in your spine. You know.
Yeah.
And now, well, it's just the way it is here.
Hey, big guy! I see it's your big day. Getting married, huh? Guess what I got you?
I got you a present for you and the wifey tonight. A special gift. An open sore right on the head of your cock.
That's a bad place for one. Yeah, certainly not a good place for something like that. Ouch.
Then Paul said, "You might want to check with my buddy here. He sells condoms."
Yeah. Like, trust me. Here you go. Well, she's gonna want you to.
You can get them in bulk.
Oh man. Ugh.
Did you feel it itching down there a little bit right now? A little tingling sensation.
He just keeps popping up through the week.
Uncle Herp is here to visit.
Yep. Oh boy. Oh man. Yep, I brought the whole family too. You remember your cousin Sif?
Yeah.
What?
And Uncle Krabby?
Yeah. You remember Color Lydia?
She's so cute.
Wait, what?
Little chlamydia.
Yeah. What a terrible. It'd be such a bad name. Man. Like, like I don't like this anymore. Honey, I want to marry you, but I gotta go.
Exactly.
What?
Exactly. And chlamydia's older sister. For when chlamydia just isn't enough, and you need that drip. Gonorrhea.
You wish it was gonorrhea.
Oh, it's okay. They're treatable.
Yeah, that's right. Don't let any of these things control you, people. You can persevere, but always be truthful, of course. You know, you gotta make sure you tell people about this weird shit.
I've had someone literally give me the "I have herpes" talk.
Really?
After the fact.
Oh,
yeah.
That's shit move. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's.
It was a girlfriend too. That was even worse.
Ooh. Yeah. See that? If you say it up front, you're like, okay, and you deal with it however you do, whether you run screaming or you're like, whatever, so many people have it, Like, cool, I was just going to tell you I already had it, so, we're good, whatever it is you're going to say. But to tell you after the fact, then, that could raise some questions.
And
like,
well
for
after
how
the
long?
Like,
Yeah.
way months down the line.
Yeah, oof.
It's like, come on, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
And, she medications, total remission, yada, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, sure.
But, yeah, it was still...
I still feel like you got to tell somebody, though,
luckily no one came with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Yeah. All right. Now that we've just, made people sad with our STD talk. I don't know. I got nothing there. So
let's talk about the Avengers.
Yeah. Please.
$40 million short of Avatar.
Yep. I know.
We're gonna add a few minutes to the end of the credits.
Mm-hmm. Here's what I hope happens. I hope that it's
Avatar.
Yep. I hope that you're sitting in the theater, you're watching, it's like the same movie all the way through, and you're like, what the hell? I thought they said there was extra stuff. And then during the credit scene, it just is a black screen that says, fuck Avatar. Even though they won't, because they own Avatar also. So,
Or better yet, it's a scene, but they're all blue monkeys now.
Oh, jeez.
That's what Ribisi's character called them, right? The blue monkeys.
Blue monkeys, yeah.
So I can't remember. But yeah, it's like oh, here, look, we've got an additional tribute. We're gonna give you an end credit scene, but nothing else different. But I'll tell you what, it's gonna work because
for sure.
I want to see I only saw the movie once. I want to see it a second time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's, like you said earlier, it's like this gives you a good excuse to do it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I want to.
Feige's like just some some marketing stuff. It's like
totally.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, we could put it out on streaming, or
yeah.
Oh boy, I actually am. I'm very curious what they're gonna put in though, because I've heard rumors of some of the like cut scenes or scenes that were cut from it, and some of them they can't put in because they would directly like contradict what's in the movie. So I'm curious what they end up actually putting in.
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully it's a 72-minute long scene of them all just shaking hands and saying goodbye. That's the way it should be.
By that time, everyone's pissing themselves.
Yeah.
In the theater.
Good thing I got the large.
With free refills.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, has anybody ever... All right, tweet at us and let us know if you've gotten up in the middle of the movie and got the free refill.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I can see a family getting the free popcorn refill.
Mm-hmm.
Free large drink. I mean,
yeah.
Come on.
Oh, man. No, I've never done that.
You just got to be a glutton.
Yeah. Well, it's like,
or you don't, or you saw the movie already and now your kid's with you.
Right. And you know where you can safely get up and go get more popcorn / drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise the move is you order the large drink, you drink it. When you need to hose or, whatever, you just do it in the cup. And then because you strategically sat farther into the back, everything rolls downhill at the theaters because of the stadium seating situation. So you just pour it on the floor, and then you can go again if you need to. You're all set. And it's not like it's going to hurt the floor. I mean, that's already got God knows what on it.
All right, one of the other things was the David Gilmour auction.
Oh, yeah.
I just read all right, so $3.975 million, $3,975,000 for his 1969 Fender Stratocaster Black. That was used Dark Side of the Moon, blah, blah, blah. The auction was won by Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay.
Oh, that asshole. Yeah.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me.
You know what he did too? He caused a huge furor. He bought the original manuscript for the what's known as the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh, really?
And caused a huge uproar. Yeah, because it was never supposed to be. It was given to one of the founders. It was, willed to one of the founders' brothers or something like that.
Yeah.
And he died, and somehow the manuscript ended up in somebody else's hands, and they put it up for auction.
Oh, geez. Wow.
And Jim Irsay ended up buying it, and the General Service Office of Alcoholics Anonymous sued to get it back, saying that this should have never have ever, been sold. It was, that it was willed to his, his brother and blah blah blah, and so there was none of us really know how it ended, because everything, that was the worst part about it, is that anybody that was involved with this, that had any knowledge of it, was really pissed off because the organization was keeping everything quiet.
Yeah. Right.
And from the membership, and the way the way that Alcoholics Anonymous is structured as a bottom up structure. So imagine an inverted pyramid.
Yeah.
All decision making starts at the bottom.
Right.
Everything has to do with, except in this case, the board members did everything, like there was no press releases. It went completely against, but you have to do it because it's a legal matter.
Yeah. Right.
But it goes against everything that has to do with the organization.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And Jim, of course, said, oh, well, this will always be available. Whatever. Fuck you.
Yeah. It'd been different if maybe, like if he was a recovering alcoholic and he bought it just to make sure it stayed out of, the public eye kind of a thing, like bought it and then gave it to him, or, like just whatever.
Yeah. Well, if he donated it back.
Yeah.
Or even just said, here, I'm going to give this to you to display at the international conventions.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's sitting in his fucking house.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that guy's a piece of work anyway.
I think a lot. I mean, it's intellectual property.
Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever.
Yeah.
So let's see. Previous record for an auction guitar was $2.7 million for a Fender Stratocaster signed by 19 musicians, including Sting, Paul McCartney, Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, to raise money after 2004 Asian tsunami. But it was $21.5 million total for all of his instruments, and we're talking the white Strat that was played on Another Brick in the Wall, the acoustic guitar that was played on Wish You Were Here, and they all were, the acoustic guitar estimated, $25,000, $600,000. So it's amazing. So all the money's going to that bullshit global warming. Smooth.
Nice. That's a lot of money for guitar auction for sure.
Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable. Pretty cool. And what I'm just surprised at is how many, who stepped up. But I guess it makes sense if you think about it. When Eric Clapton did his auction, so he auctioned off pretty much everything he has, and all the money went to he started like a rehab facility on some island somewhere.
Uh-huh.
All of it went to supporting that. Now, those are iconic guitars, but Eric Clapton's more of a guitar player kind of guy, whereas Pink Floyd is a whole different level.
Yeah.
The Wall, Dark Side of the Moon is memories people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many. The reason guitar been through the roof is because of people, midlife suddenly have money. I'm going to buy. It's sad, even though they don't really play that well, or some people do, but they just, they buff. And so, I mean, why wouldn't you get millions of dollars and you could have the guitar that record, some famous guitar solo?
Yeah, right.
I get it.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, because like to me, I love Clapton, but it's like, okay, it's like you said, it's like, okay, that's a Clapton guitar, but it's like, versus, hey, that's the guitar that was played on Dark Side of the Moon, or Another Brick in the Wall, or whatever, whatever the iconic song or album is, Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Different level.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that the guitar value, like the investment marketing guitars, is going through the toilet. So
yeah,
I think the donation aspect of it is huge.
Yeah,
the fact that all the money's going towards some bullshit cause.
Right. Yeah.
Global warming, whatever.
Right.
Environmentalists.
What's next?
$3 million for bullshit.
Yep. Say, what's next? Raising money for mental health awareness?
I know.
Yeah.
That's one where it's like, don't get me started. We had our animal shelter needed some upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
Like the animal shelter was like it was one shed away from a shack. I mean, it was
wow.
Like it was on the middle of nowhere and old. They came up with millions of dollars to state-of-the-art facility with like giant hall to do fundraisers, classrooms to do educational stuff. Like the dogs are like high life. They're practically shitting on marble floors. It's so amazing.
Right.
You want some mental health? Here's $1,500. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like legit. Where people commit here all the time. Here's $1,500, $6 million. The animal shelter. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad they can raise that money
in our valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the thing about it wasn't just from here; it was from all over the country because we're a no-kill shelter, and that that carries a certain cachet. And
definitely.
Their animals are sent here all over, and we get send animals on to other places, and it's a pretty big deal. And they're even it's like I said, people are super in the valley and they contribute to a lot of causes, but sometimes when you see where the money's going, it's just like, wow, like it's kids skiing, like millions of dollars for kids skiing, but we have a food bank here basically that's struggles to,
of course,
have food for people.
Yeah.
It's like that's it's typical.
Yeah,
people put their money where their passions are, and that's just the way it is.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, I can't. I'm the first time it was pointed out to me, I was like, because I was bringing up the fact that we do have some amazing. We have some of the top auctions in the country here. They generate on an annual basis $1 million easily to run art programs and music programs and all, really, really great stuff. And then when the person pointed out to me, just the cynicism of he was very cynical about it, but just the money that's like going to kids skiing, like, and not just any kids skiing, but, like people in a very affluent community to go to ski race.
Yeah. Millions
and millions of dollars for that, and it's just, I never thought about it from that standpoint, but we have all other stuff too.
Yeah.
We Camp Rainbow Gold, which is for cancer kids and stuff. That's a huge one. People dump some serious cash into. But
yeah. Well, like you said, you're going to put money where your passion is, and or whatever is in your face at the time when you're feeling like donating, I guess. So.
Well, and I don't know what, things are different now with the new tax stuff, but, it was always like on an annual basis. Okay, I need to make a donation. Get on the intercom, well, you are sober. Maybe you should give them to those people that run that house, where they have AA meetings. Oh, great idea. All of a sudden, $10,000 check comes.
It's one of those
a lot
things
of it is
where
literally that.
Yeah, but you know what? It's funny because I used to kind of be pissy about that. It's like, oh, you're just doing it for the tax break or the PR move or whatever. But it's like, as I've gotten older, it's like, yeah, so what? Like if that's what it takes to get
that's
the good done, then great.
That's why why we have taxes.
Yeah.
It wasn't so that we could fund all this stuff.
Yeah.
It was literally to shape behavior.
Yeah.
That's why people say, why do we have a flat tax? Because our whole tax system is based on behavior. It's influencing behavior.
Totally.
We had the strong belief that the whole the death tax, the inheritance taxes, and all these things, they were created because this country used to have an aversion to too much wealth in too few people's hands because we told the king to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
That is true. Yeah.
And in the after the Industrial Revolution, we had again a lot of money in too few people's hands, and yes, if today you went to a group of Mark Zuckerbergs and especially Bezos and said, we want to build a whole bunch of buildings all across the country where we're going to stock them full of books, just like your store that you run, Jeff, but we're going to give them away for free. Would you be willing to throw up a few $1 billion if this happened?
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Why did the public library system get built? Because we gave people, you were either going to give the money to the government or you build this. You build this, you don't have to give the money to the government.
Yeah.
That's what taxes are for, is to make things happen. They were incentives for people. We were incentivizing to put the money back in the system. What have we pulled all of those away? All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So get off the old soapbox, I know.
No, you're right. It's because you're right. Like, if nothing else, like all you need for proof of what you were just saying is cigarette taxes. The reason they're on there is because, first of all, they know people will pay them, but also because the goal behind it is allegedly to get people to quit smoking. But they, it is a twofold thing. They know people are not going to quit smoking, so it is also just a cash grab.
They'll put the money back into education. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
There's like that. And the same thing goes, and this is the other of it, the same thing goes with these, this is why the corporate tax thing pisses me off so much. The reason that we had a high corporate tax rate is because we would offer incentives for companies to do and thereby have a lower effective tax rate, which we had. When you looked at the effective tax rate on an international level, it was huge. Oh, well, but blah, blah, blah country is still lower. Yeah, but guess what? We are the companies in our country are putting money in, they're investing.
Yeah.
If they invest, they don't have to pay as much taxes. Now we just said, here, have the money. And it's not even we didn't even say money. We said, here, put it on the credit card.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like,
well, and it's gotten even worse too.
2 stock bucks. Way worse. Yeah. It's like, here, have some stock. Raise the valuation of your stock while we increase the deficit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's like
debt.
There's been a few of the businesses like in this area where they have gotten the tax rate so low that the places are literally paying almost nothing, and or are paying nothing, and
some are getting refunds.
Well,
There's an energy company in your neck of the woods that got a refund.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like with some of the businesses,
millions of dollars.
some of the businesses in this area, though, they like if they don't do that, the businesses know. Like a good example would be like Jeep in the Toledo area. Jeep knows if it pulls out of Toledo, Toledo's fucked. So that gives them an immense amount of power in negotiations. And they use it. You know, Chrysler Fiat has definitely used it over the years because they keep getting the rates, whatever. And each time they redo the contracts, there's like less, like the amount of jobs they have to create or keep changes and all that. It's like the city keeps giving and giving because they know they have to keep it here, you know, and it's sad because they have absolutely no power in the negotiation because Jeep knows anytime they go, hey, we're looking for a place to put a new plant. What city's going to say no? You know, every city's going to be like, oh, you're going to bring thousands of jobs. Okay. You know, it's the power on that has shifted so far the other way that, you know, again, it's like so much stuff now. It's like, it gets to a point that then we're like, oh, okay, let's fix this. And it's like, you know, trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's too late. We're already so far that way. You know, it's going to be very difficult.
I've never had a problem with our with a complicated tax system if it allows, you know, if it allows our representatives to look at aspects of our, you know, like there's certain economy that aren't doing that well.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can use tax policy to spur investment, I'm so okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
You know, because you can, like, it was the whole thing with Amazon in New York, and they got that whole thing, you know, like shut down. And it was like, well, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Because when you actually looked at the numbers, like the big picture numbers over 10 years, it was huge.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure
like,
it was.
They're just like, you're giving away X amount of tax dollars. It's like, yeah, but did you look at the total value?
Yeah.
Like over a decade? Like it's not even, you know, close.
Yeah. That's why when
wow, that was not smart.
Amazon was after that when they started talking about other cities and whatever, and there was talk of, like, I think it was around Ann Arbor or something like that in Michigan, that was one of the cities they were considering, and everybody in this area is like, please, 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 because the jobs. It just brings jobs. Yeah. And, you know, this is a state still that's reeling from the decline of Detroit over the years. And even though the auto industry is in a better place, a lot of it is still moved out of Detroit. You know, a lot of that stuff is not Detroit centric anymore. And, you know, and it's a state that's looking to find the next step because they don't want to be vulnerable the way they were to, you know, Detroit was at a point that it's like, if the auto industry leaves or gets hurt, this whole city's wrecked, you know? And we're not talking about, like, Toledo's a decent sized city, but it's not Detroit. You know, Detroit's a major city, you know? You know, like if you took you know, something like not quite New York or something, but you know what I mean? Like a Chicago or something like that, and just pulled out like a bunch of their economic structure, you know? And it's like, yeah, you know? So this area is like hoping for stuff, and it's like, it's amazing to me how, you know, and again, that, you know, the companies know that. Amazon can pretty much go anywhere they want, and they're going to pretty much get what they want out of it in the end, you know? It's going to be a rare city. Like New York can say no to them, you know? But there's a lot of cities and stuff that will go, yeah, whatever you want, come here, you know?
Did I tell you about the story I read about somebody who kind of looked at what Amazon did in this whole process of putting out, you know, like Amazon said, we're going to these loans. And so they had all these cities jumping in on it, right? Yeah. Wanting to get to get their business.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are they doing? They're sending Amazon demographic information,
mm-hmm.
You know, population statistics, various economic statistics.
They're handing them a gold mine is what they're handing them.
Literally every city just sent them, Amazon, a treasure trove of data about the economic conditions and the population conditions and the demographics of cities all the way across the country for free.
That's like going into an interview for a new job and handing your boss your bills. Like,
exactly. Yeah, basically saying, right?
They can go, wow, you need a job bad.
Like, yeah. And then in the end, the only ones that they were going to, they were never going to consider any of the other ones.
Yeah.
Because Amazon just happened to, and again, Amazon's making so much money doing data storage. Amazon just made a contract with the U.S. government to do the data storage for the Pentagon. They were going to DC no matter what. Right? And the whole thing with like New York and that kind of stuff, it's like, okay, Bezos is moving to that part of the country. They were going there anyway.
Yeah.
The various things and this was about having their office buildings that they just wanted to collect a shit ton of data
and done. Yeah.
And they did it.
Yep.
And they got it all
for very little money. Yeah.
And when I read it, I was like, ooh, that's wow. If that's true, it's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Well, we're probably boring the hell out of people here. So
yes, we are.
Even though I know you and I could keep talking this, and so let's move
back to Herp.
Yeah. Well, actually, no.
Back to VD.
Do you did you subscribe to that the Hustle newsletter?
No.
No? Okay. So the other day I got one from him, and it tells the story of the guy who created or came up with the idea for Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And it's an amazing story. Like, this guy started, like, I think it said he dropped out of school in, like, 4th grade, went to work. Just one of those kind of stories where he's just always worked, got a job at Frito-Lay as a janitor. And took great pride in, what he does, as he should, whatever, job's a job. And one day, the CEO of the company would send out, emails. And one of the times they sent an email out, and it said something along the lines of, this is your company too. Kind of like, if you have ideas, let us know, And so this guy started spending time after work with the manufacturing part of the plant and different parts of the plant to learn all the ins and outs of the product. And then one day he asked the sales guy if he could go out with him when the guy was out restocking at stores. And the guy was like, sure. So they go out, and while he said they were in a Latino heavy neighborhood, and he said he was looking at the rack of chips, and all he saw was Lay's, Ruffles, blah, blah, just all plain foods. And, he knew his friends and stuff all liked really hot snacks or foods. And he was like, well, there's nothing here for Latinos. So him and his wife developed the powder, the flavoring, because he just got plain Cheetos from the plant, and then he would just put them in bags and season them and give them out to his friends, and his friends were going stupid over them because they're amazing. And then one day he just flat out gets in the company directory and calls the CEO's office direct. Doesn't go up the ladder like, you would normally do. Just straight out calls the CEO, and got, chewed out a little bit by his supervisor for, doing that or whatever. But so the CEO invites him to a meeting. And so he's telling all these VPs and everything, or he's got to go in for this presentation. And again, this is a guy with a 4th grade education, now has to go give a presentation to people who make millions of dollars and make decisions on a $300 million company, and so he went out and bought a $3 tie the night before, had his neighbor tie it because he didn't know how to tie a tie. And then his wife helped him with the presentation stuff. And he went in the next day and, pitched Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And one of the VPs was like, well, how much of this demographic do you think we can get? And he's like, he has no knowledge of marketing, market shares, he's not that guy.
Wow.
So I guess he just held his arms out and was like, this much, like,
That's funny.
and I guess the CEO was like, well, if we can get this much, we're in, basically. And,
wow.
and now this guy is like a VP for PepsiCo. Like, he's moved all the way up. And I would imagine, what I'd love to know, they don't say, I'd love to know if he got paid for the recipe. Because he didn't develop the recipe at the company, he developed that at home. Even though it does include their cheese product, So I'd love to know if they just gave him like a hefty payout or whatever. But no matter what, it's like this guy who had a 4th grade education now is a high-ranking VP in PepsiCo, gives motivational speeches across the country. Again, a guy who was super nervous about talking to these VPs, goes out and talks to people all the time. And yeah, it was a great story. I was like, that literally is a come-from-nothing story,
Wow.
And just happened
That's
to pay
amazing.
attention. Saw a need, created the product that filled the need, and here we are. And now the Flamin' Hot Cheetos brand, I think they said, is worth like $100 million or something like that. So, yeah, I'm sure the guy didn't get paid that well, but, the fact that I'm sure got himself a job probably as long as he wants a job, because he brought them something that's made them that much money. That's nuts, isn't it? But yeah, I was like, man, what a great story. I love hearing
That's
stuff like
amazing.
that.
I love that.
Yeah.
God, that's great.
Yeah. Because when I first saw it, I was like, whatever. And I started reading it. I was like, oh, all right. And I was, really getting into it. So I was like, oh, that was, yeah. So it's interesting. That newsletter's got, some days it's just like, meh, whatever, and other days it's got something that where I've learned something about something I had no clue on before. And I love stuff like that because, there's so much information that will never even come close to crossing our attention, And it's nice sometimes to have things kind of be like, hey, look over here,
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what's this, So, yeah, good fun though.
That's amazing.
Yeah, if I can I gotta find the link to it so I can put it in the show notes so you can, people can actually read it. I've pretty much told you the whole thing, but if you want to actually read it. Something else I saw cool this week, which I sent you the video of, is Adam Savage, which most people will know is one of the guys from Mythbusters, and his crew created a functional Iron Man suit that flies, and I was just blown away by this because he basically is like, if Tony Stark existed and had an Iron Man suit, this is basically what it would be. And I've seen Iron Man suits in the past that were real stiff and didn't really do much of anything. This still is a heavy suit, of course, but it looks like you can move in it a little better and, and the stuff. But, the arc reactor that Tony Stark uses basically would kill you if you actually wore it, because it would create so much heat to power that suit and I believe Adam Savage is the one who I read that talked about this before, that basically it would just essentially melt your body. So you'd have to have a way on the suit to cool the suit, and the amount of heat that it generates, the cooling unit would be so bulky that it's just, it'd be very difficult. So, as our power sources go at the moment, this is as close as you can pretty much get. But it was still pretty cool to watch, because we've all seen the movies, but this isn't the movie. This isn't CG. This is actually someone wearing a suit, up in the air. And it's kind of cool to see something that, was really only in the comics, like actually exist, not just, oh yeah, they created it on, for the Avengers movie. So The link for that will be in the show notes.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool video.
Yeah, definitely worth a quick watch. I don't think it's a very long video. I don't know. By internet standards, anything more than, 30 seconds is a long video, so who knows? Did you see, what was it, a few days ago, I think it was, that Dave Mustaine announced that he's been diagnosed with throat cancer?
No.
Yeah. He had it on his Twitter, and that, his doctors have said, where is it? Sorry, I can't find it now. Anyway, it basically said that, there it is, said he's working closely with his doctors, and we've mapped out a treatment plan, which they feel has a 90% success rate, and he's already started treatment.
Wow.
Yeah. So, they got to cancel the rest of their shows for the year, basically, and everything, of course, and, whatever. So, yeah, that blows. But hopefully everything goes well and everything. I mean, I know the guy's kind of become a bit of a kook over the last couple of years and stuff, but
seriously.
But still, you don't wish cancer on anybody, so.
No.
Yeah. And, given the fact that, I'm not going to lie, some of this guy's stuff was, like, part of the soundtrack of my youth. So, I don't want to see, I'd hate to see it. I hate seeing when a singer can't sing or, when stuff like that's taken away from him. And I'm sure it's going to be next to impossible for him to sing for a while. 'Cause my dad had throat cancer and the radiation and stuff. He had such a sore throat from, just getting blasted with that stuff. So, yeah, but, yeah, so hopefully things go well for him.
Yeah.
But that kind of came out of nowhere.
57 years old.
Yeah, it was like I saw his name trending on Twitter, and whenever you see a celebrity name trending, it's like, oh boy.
Going on.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh man. Like, I wish this was a Dave Mustaine announces, new Megadeth album or something instead. But, yeah, unfortunately, it's not. Man. Well, my throat's hurting. I don't like this. So, all right, what else we got here? Got any more?
You put a little tussin on it.
You're right. Oh, no, there's one more thing I wanted to mention, which is, that I saw that Used Kids over at the Moving the Needle podcast dropped a new episode, which I haven't had a chance to listen to yet, but I definitely wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. It was really cool. I'll tell you, tonight's the night of gripe. Like, for as amazing as Libsyn is, with their help files,
yeah,
they fall short on a couple of parts.
Oh yeah,
and and luckily I've gotten into some of this already with previous podcasts. But so we recorded the episode a few weeks ago, and one of the things is I wanted to come up with an original intro song. Which was a bit of a bear, but eventually I got it. It's amazing how 23 seconds took me 4 nights.
Right.
But when you really think about it, all right, think about your average 3-minute song. Right, you've got an intro, you've got a verse, a chorus, maybe a bridge, a guitar solo, which is just either the verse or the chorus, and then maybe an outro or something. So the reality is you've got 2 parts that are repeated over and over again for So I created the first like an intro and a verse of a song. And I think about it because I sit there and I go, oh man, that was all, well, if it was a regular song, if I would have added a chorus, then you repeat as needed, boom, done, song, 3-minute song.
Right.
At any rate, so I got that done, and it's been a great group effort for everybody. Sean with doing graphics again, and as soon as the episode was ready, Roy was up there doing.
Let them know I dig the the aesthetic of it. Like I like the way it's arranged and stuff. They did a good job.
Cool. Yeah, it's funny how you don't realize who was doing, like who did what. Like I always knew there was custom artwork for every single episode of Moving the Needle.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that it was Sean that would do the custom artwork every single time.
I've always wanted to do
And
that
so
for
now-
this show, but it's so much work. It doesn't, much like you were just saying, it doesn't seem like it when you look at a lot of them, but it really can be a lot of work for such a small, inconsequential thing.
Yeah. And then I did the editing, and I typically don't edit shows, but this show I realized that. So Roy and Sean used to edit the shows together. One would do one half and one would do the other, and then they'd send them in and they'd compile them together. And I mean, I've gotten pretty good at editing, but I typically don't go through and edit a lot of content. When I realized that it's something that they used to do a lot, I was like, well, I'd made notes of pauses, because we're all trying to take turns and be respectful. So you tend up with some pauses. And as I'm going through, I realized, okay, well, that was kind of a little mess up there. Let me get rid of that, or blah, blah, blah. And so I took some time to really put the editing, and I started realizing it's like, okay, whoa, these guys were doing and then as soon as we could put the show out, Roy was just boom, 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 promotion, which was awesome, right? And Steph's in there doing promoting and everything. And it really felt so good to be part of what is now a group effort.
Yes. That's awesome.
And it was one of the reasons why the show kind of probably died to begin with, is that one person was doing the, most of that work.
That's understandable. Yeah. Cause you hit burnout, and if you're the only one doing the work, you're done.
Yeah. And it's just been, we've had great group chats. The episode I thought was really fun to do. And I'll tell you, as soon as Sean did the intro, I just was like, yes, because it was it's weird. It's like it's like you doing the start of Salty Language. It's part of the show.
Yeah, that's why it's funny, because I had someone a while ago ask me about like why I do it or something, like why doesn't Tony ever do it? And I'm like, at this point, it's just tradition. It's just,
it is.
At any time, if he wanted to start the show, he's more than welcome to. He knows it. I just usually do it. And I think part of it also is because I record the show. So I hit play and go, it's just kind of part of it, because I really don't care, anyone, either one of us could start the show.
But it's branding.
Yeah. Because if you'll notice, whenever we do the side
branding
stuff, like the Sweet and Salty Language or some of the other stuff, you'll notice Tony does the intro more on that, because a lot of times he'll be like, who, and I'll be like, you do it, because I do all the other, and he's like, okay, and just, it's,
Because we talked about changing the name from Moving the Needle, and I'm like, no. And you don't change the logo. You don't change the artwork.
You can rearrange
it's branding.
the words and stuff, like the graphic design element of it, without changing the logo. And I noticed that there is some difference to it, but it's not anything that really changes the brand.
No, exactly. And I thought that was the most important thing. And so my gripe comes in where, so I've put up a few podcasts, so I know roughly what's going on. However, it's again one of those things where it's a process, and if you don't do it on a regular basis, you just forget what you need to do.
Yes.
And so Libsyn is great in that they now generate RSS feeds, but once you get the RSS feed generated, you have to now go submit that to the various locations.
Yeah.
And then they review it.
Mm-hmm.
And in the case of iTunes, you do not get up on iTunes until you take the actual URL locator of where your show is. That they never emailed me.
Yeah.
I just did it myself, because I went into the podcast portal and I just kept refreshing the portal every day until it showed approved. And as soon as it showed approved, I clicked on it, and then the URL then has to go back into your settings on Libsyn.
Okay.
And once that happens, then you're populated onto iTunes. If you don't do that, it never happens.
Wow, I don't remember having to do that before. That might be new. Maybe it wasn't, but I don't remember doing that for.
It's always been that way.
Has it?
It's always been that way.
I wonder why I don't remember doing that then.
I forgot to do it with Angela's Awesome podcast.
Okay.
And somebody else figured it out, and ever since then I've known that. And a lot of the show, not all the shows are like you can like Google Play, once you're approved, you're there.
Yeah.
But whether you're searchable enough and certain things, you need to now go back into your Libsyn show settings and put all the URLs in. And the thing that Libsyn doesn't do is Libsyn does not give you any sort of example of what the URL looks like.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what?
So
I do remember doing this now. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And it's literally whatever, Google Play podcast, blah, 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 and then a number. And that number just refers to your show.
Right.
Yeah. And so you put all those back into Libsyn, and it was one of those things where I was like, after a couple of days, I was like, oh my God, it's so much work. So it just makes it, so where I'm going with this is Kevin Smith, fuck you. All you need is a microphone. Fuck you.
No, it's people.
Bullshit.
Yeah, Tony and I have said that various times. Like, it's one of those things. Like when I've talked with people and they're like, "What do I?" Starting a new podcast, and I'm in a couple of groups on Facebook. And when someone asks for advice, I'm always like, "Hey, look, this is a hustle. Like, if you're not willing to put a lot of time into this, this isn't for you. You can just do your show and post it. You can just do that, but you're probably never going to get noticed by anybody. Like, you've got to promote yourself. You've got to, and like you were saying, you got to do all that little stuff so that you show up in a search. Like, I went through and I posted to different, I forgot what they're called. Basically like their databases, and by putting your show in that, they send that out to a bunch of different other things. So your show will show up, if people search through different things. And I went through and did a bunch of those, there's a lot of that kind of stuff that nobody tells you about when you're first starting, Oh,
there's so, like, when people ask me, oh, I'm thinking about doing a podcast, I just sit there and I go, how computer savvy are you? Like, seriously, like, how familiar are you with, have you ever generated a link?
Yeah.
In any program and copied it?
Yeah.
Like, these are things that, for me, I know how to do them automatically, but the average person really has no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That is one of the things.
What is
I was going to say, sorry. I was going to say, that's one of the things I really like about Libsyn is there is a lot of that kind of thing they are really good about helping you with. And their customer service is amazing. I can't speak on other companies only because I haven't used any others, but they were amazing helping me.
Yeah. They have always, when I needed to split Angela off of one, that show off of my account into another, they totally helped me with it. It was taken care of within a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Like, they've been really wonderful. That's why I recommend them.
Mm-hmm.
It costs some money. It's worth every penny.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so we're going to have, at the end of this weekend, we did a Do the Right Thing, basically, test of time episode. So that'll be the end of this weekend. Yeah. And then, nice. In a couple of weeks, we'll have another song shaming episode back up. So yeah,
those are my favorite.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So we're out there now on all the, some people listened on Libsyn, but basically once we got it on, Apple Podcasts, everyone just, hammered it this last week. And so, yeah, we're on Apple, we're on Google Play, we're on Spotify, and then, that once you're on Apple, that ends up kicking over to Stitcher and blah, blah, blah. And what was really cool was getting, again, promotion, Twitter, all of a sudden, our good buddy Brian from across the pond lets us know that he listened to it on, some app I've never even heard of before. But, that was really cool.
It is. Yeah.
And so that gets in there and yeah, it's, I'm really, it's really fun.
That's
really
the stuff
having a good
that
time
helps
with it.
you when you're doing all that other stuff. And you're like, God, this is such a grind. Like at times where you're like, I just don't like, I post a new episode and I'm not bitching. I enjoy doing this, but it's like, when I go to upload this show, I upload it. Excuse me. I schedule a bunch of tweets so that, links go out so that through the week, there may be other links for people to retweet or whatever, or listen or however, whatever they're for. I post in a bunch of Facebook groups and on Instagram and, and by the end of it, I'm just like, but then you get somebody that'll respond to you and, hey, this was really fun, especially when it's something, like you said, an app you've never heard of or someone you've never talked with. And you're like, okay, this is, that helps, makes you feel a little better. Like, okay, this is worth doing all that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it looks like we're going to be part of the Danger Entertainment Network too.
Nice.
So that'll be, they had a spot opened up and
finally get rid of Hobie.
What's that?
I said they finally get rid of Hobie. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. And that's extra funny if you listen to the whole thing because there's a promo for History of Bad Ideas at the beginning of the show.
Did you see Pam's Twitter?
No.
Oh, all right. So, cousin Pam, just because last name, on anyhow. So I had thrown up that tweet, like, hey, Stu, did you see
right?
He who shall not be named wasn't on this last week's History of Bad Ideas and blah blah blah. That whole thing, and then Pam Morris, she posted like a day late or something like. So, wow, a Jason-free episode, best episode ever.
Ouch.
And I was like, ooh. Like, okay, now I kind of feel bad for the day before.
Yeah, I liked it too. I liked when you post that. For those who don't know, like Henno, anyone who's listened knows that I refer to Jason as dead to me because of him not. I think it was like I don't even remember now. Like he didn't mention me one time when they were referring to salty language or something along those lines. Like that. And I was like, all right, he's dead. It was
something very mature.
Yes, very. And joking, of course. Like I like those guys. I like Jason, so I, just having fun. Yeah. But he's not on this week's episode, so Henno was like, "Hey, you should listen because he's not on this week, or you can listen because he's not on this week." So yeah, it was.
And the honest,
I like that though, because
the honest truth is we're actually trying to promote. It's really what it comes
totally. To. Yeah, yeah. If I really had a beef with them, I wouldn't want to put their promotion or their gimmick at the beginning of the show. So, but nah. And Tony and I've been on their show, so it's not like we wouldn't have done that if we had real issues. Well, Tony might have. I don't know. I wouldn't have. But yeah, it's good, clean fun there. So, yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to listen, go back and I don't know what they titled that episode we were on, so I couldn't even tell you where to find it. I'm sure if you asked Jason or somebody there, they might be able to help you.
Yeah, but thanks for bringing up Moving the Needle because.
Really well, cool. I've been super excited about it coming back anyway, so because I like shows like that. I always love shows where you kind of pick people's brains about why they like stuff and different stuff. And like I told you, it's like I love the episodes when you guys do the shaming episodes or a pop song or a song you love but everyone else hates or vice versa. I love hearing those too. Those are my favorite ones, but I enjoy the other stuff too. Like the Do the Right Thing, I'll be interested because I like that too. I've like when you hear shows kind of go back and go, wow, and then you, after hearing something, it's like, man, I haven't watched this in like 15 years. And you're like, boy, it doesn't hold up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, you know what? This isn't bad, And
it's fun because I think I'm really, one of the other things is So I've come out and met you. I've gone on, I've met Sean and Ian from Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast, and the 7 Days a Geek, and blah blah blah. And yet, these are the I haven't met Hobie, by the way, but that's on purpose. I'm just kidding.
Well, I haven't either, which is funny.
You're actually not that far away, too. Yeah.
Well, really, and there's been at least 2 trips by people on this podcast that I wasn't part of.
Yeah. And so, but I've podcasted with Roy and Sean and Steph longer than pretty much anybody else, and yet I've never met them. And
yeah.
And so we never, because of the moving the needle, we never did the Skype calls with video up, just because we had too many people on, and at that time, bandwidth wasn't that good. Well, now we're able to, and it's a lot more fun because our personalities are there. And I really did. There's a distinctive. Sean and Roy have just their personalities really come through. In it was like. It literally was like the proverbial riding a bike. We just slipped right back into these kind of roles and, and exchanges. And Steph is just blended in, perfectly. So
yeah, I figured she'd be a good addition. Yeah,
she's great. She is not like, when I think back on the first time that we podcasted and we even started talking about podcasting then versus now. Like she will just jump in and just give someone shit right away. It's so great.
Love it.
I love it. Because like it's we always had moving the needle with the previous co-hosts. There was we had a very young co-host.
Yeah.
One was like literally born when I had already graduated from high school,
Yeah.
And Steph is like that too. So
yeah, which is good though. I like that because by having, it's nice to have different ages as well as like, just for different perspectives.
Yeah.
Like it. Not that I wouldn't listen to it if you were all the exact same age and whatever, but it's like this. There's a better chance of there being differences, and the differences are what makes that show so good.
Yes.
Yeah. Like when you're listening and everyone has the same opinion on those kind of shows, you're like, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
But when somebody is like, actually, kind of stuff, it's like, oh, now we can have a discourse,
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys want to check it out, if you can pretty much look it up now, anywhere is, What's Moving the Needle podcast. And, I think we're at MTN Pod on Twitter and on Facebook as well, Moving the Needle Podcast. And our first episode that we dropped was terrorists and movies, and it was really fun. We all picked our favorite terrorists, and there was a certain amount of trolling that happened, which was really fun. It was really fun. Yeah.
What's really funny to me is like when I first saw your topic, the first thing I thought of is I'm so curious to hear how they determined what makes a movie terrorist, because there's the ones in your face like Hans Gruber.
Yep.
Or whatever. And then there's some that you might consider that, but they're, maybe not considered terrorist. So I'm curious if there's anything like that, but because again, that's the kind of stuff that I really, get into on shows like that.
Yeah. We took liberties.
So, yeah. I figured so, because that's usually what happens on that show. There's usually somebody kind of making a little bit of a stretch, which is fine. That's, like I said, that's what I enjoy about a lot of it. So, nice. So, let's see. Do I have anything else? I was going to have Shut Up and Take My Money this week, but sorry, Heno, I'm going to hold it for Tony for next week. So, and you'll say why. Yeah, I think that's... worth it.
Yeah, totally. It's a great boo. It's
It really is.
like it's pretty angry.
A pretty robust booing section, yeah, that's for sure. Oh man. Before I get into, because I want to do the Q of the W from last week, I actually have one for this week too. Which I'm kind of feeling like this might be coming back. So, like I said last week, it took some time off. It decided to come back. Like we thought it was retired, but it's not. It's it's coming. It came back. But I wanted to also, like, since we were talking about podcasts, I want to congratulate Jason, Angry Ginger from 7 Days a Geek, I saw their, he's doing, what is it, the 199th episode, I think it is.
Yep.
But it's also their 7-year anniversary. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, it's not a show every week, but no, I'm kidding. It's not mathematically, but no, it's cool though that I remember when he started that show, and the fact that it's 7 years later. It's I always love when any of us are able to keep going this long, because there's so many shows that don't even sniff a year, 2 years, so it's I like, and he's had some real issues with like co-hosts. Like juggling co-hosts till he can find a good lineup, or a consistent lineup, not a good lineup, but a consistent lineup.
That's it.
So, yeah. So congratulations to that. I think by the time this goes up, I think they'll have recorded that episode. So, yeah. So go check that out. 7 Days a Geek. I also dig that he titled the event 7 Years a Geek. That's a great move right there. I don't know whose idea it was, but that was a good move. So, all right. So last week I asked a silly question, which was, what celebrities would you cast as the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? Of course, could be male, female, animal. I don't care. If you wanted to put Air Bud as one of them, that would have been cool with me too. Which that would have been great. I wish somebody would have done that. So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to read these ones I have first?
No, you go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So, at the Hera Club, which is the Hera Club Radio, said Keanu Reeves, John Krasinski, Tom Hiddleston, and Awan Ryan. I don't know who that is. Should I know who that is?
Sounds familiar.
I don't know. Unfortunately, they didn't tell me which one for which. So, but anyway, thanks for responding at least, because not everyone did. Friend of the show and all around good guy, Big Dev, says for War he picks David Harbour. And whoa, geez, I lost my spot there. For Famine, he picked Christian Bale. It's funny, every time I see Pestilence, I have two thoughts. One is it was a Magic the Gathering card. Yeah. The other is the one part where James Hetfield yells Pestilence in the song. Anyway, he says Javier Bardem, Bardem, sorry. Yeah, I can see that.
I like that.
And for Death, this is my favorite of his. Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love the idea of him playing Death.
Yeah, perfect.
But I can't decide in my head if I want him to play it serious or like as kind of a comedic role. Because I nail either.
Yeah. I see what you're getting at. Yep.
Or even like a kind of dark sense of humor Death. Maybe that's the key. That's the sweet spot. Where he makes really, like dark jokes that are not so funny to the people about to die. Like, oh man. All right. So at Hobie Pod, which I've never heard of, says, yeah. says Jason Momoa, which again, I don't know if these are, I'm assuming these are in probably, well, I don't, because anyway, Jason Momoa, John Barenthal, Callista Flockhart, and the voice of James Earl Jones, which that has to be death, I'm assuming. I can't imagine. The only other one on that list that I would put in death would be John Barenthal if you're thinking of him as the Punisher. But yeah, I like Callista Flockhart, I'm assuming is Pestilence. Or Famine, I'm sorry, not Pestilence, Famine, because she seriously looks like she's experienced famine. Not trying to body shame, just the truth. And then our friend Steve from the Inner City Geeks podcast at Mr. Jackal says Kim Kardashian, Courtney Love, Bruce Jenner, and Sarah Palin. They can each fit into any of the roles with ease.
Terrible.
Which I liked. So, and there you go. Them's the answers from last week.
All right.
Except for yours.
I just came up with my list just now.
All right, let's hear it.
Because I had no clue. Okay, so White Horse is Jonathan Davis from Korn.
Okay.
The Red Horse is Jack White. And the Black Horse is James Hetfield. And the Pale Horse is Kurt Cobain.
Nice. I like this.
I just went with the colors.
I like it. Although it is interesting, you didn't pick the White Horse for Jack. No,
that's why I thought there was,
Yeah, like you went with red. He wears red a lot, or did.
He used to, yeah. When he was in the White Stripes, they wore a lot of red.
I see what you did there, sir.
It's ironical.
Oh my. All right. So here's a twist for you.
Oh, wait.
What?
I like what you got. Good job.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you to everybody who responded.
Yeah.
So I was on the Facebooks the other day, which I tend to not do very often. And this guy that I think Roy, posted a question that says, what animated, or it was from IMDb, but he shared it. So what animated family-friendly movie can you watch over and over again? And it was funny because I had to sit there because, my first answer naturally, for anyone who knows me, this shouldn't be a shock, is The Lion King. I've already watched The Lion King hundreds of times, and I'm not exaggerating. I used to put it in every day and run it from 10 a.m. to about 4 at the video store I worked at, and I watched it a lot of the day. I wasn't just didn't just have it on. I literally was watching, mouthing the words to the movie, the songs, so, but I was like, you know what? It's at this point, I don't think I'd want to watch it over and over again. So, my answer was The Iron Giant, which is such a good movie. And it's amazing to me how many people didn't see that movie. And it's easily the finest work of Vin Diesel's career. But I was hoping that more people would answer Roy because I was really curious. I was like, this is a good question because the family-friendly part is what makes it tough. Because if you just go, what animated movie, then it opens a whole lot more, and there's been a lot of good animation over the years that's not been family-friendly per se, So the ones that did answer are The Incredibles, which I could watch that one quite a bit. That's a good movie. The 86 Transformers movie, which that I could not watch over and over. I love Transformers. When I was a kid, yes. Now,
no way.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Michael Leal says that both of those are on the top of his list, and just about anything Pixar, which is pretty accurate. Most of the Pixar movies I probably could watch quite a few times. So yeah, and then me with Iron Giant. Those are the only answers. So if I posed this question to you, sir, do you have an answer for me?
It used to be it used to be either WALL-E or Ice Age.
Oh yeah, Ice Age is good too. Yeah,
You know,
for a while Shrek would have been my answer because I used to watch Shrek a lot, and I still will watch that movie. I still enjoy it. It's still funny to me.
Like if Ice Age comes on, I won't turn it off. I dig it, but for me right now, it's the How to Train Your Dragon series.
That's a good series.
I can watch that stuff over and over again. And now they've got all the television shows that they put up, and all the stuff in between. Even though the animation isn't as tight, they're still really fun. A lot of backstory in there. But as far as like if like even just the first one, I'll watch the first one over and over again. Like the second and third, I really dug what they did with the story, but like the first one is, I think it's a great story, and I think Toothless is one of my favorite, animated characters. Like just the expression and, and I think the characters are good. They had good actors, and that's my jam right now.
Okay. I can definitely.
And I own them. I went out and bought them all. So yeah, it was like.
Well, see, that's the other part. Is it's like I feel like to some extent, it's like you should probably own the movie that you say.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, because if you don't, it's like, well, all right.
Do you really like it?
Yeah. I mean, I guess not as much now because we can stream anything, but still, it's
something about having that physical copy, man.
Yeah, even though it seems that so many people own physical copies of stuff and then stream it.
It's true. It's true. Well, now they send you a digital, with every single physical copy. So.
Well, it's like I saw a commercial yesterday, I think it is. Disney is releasing Cinderella again at the moment, but they're pushing it as streaming. Like it wasn't a commercial like buy it now on Blu-ray, 4K or whatever. It was, you can buy it now on streaming, and it shows, iPads, phones, and computer, it shows all the different devices and stuff. And it's like, that's smart because I see what Disney's doing there, which is, they're essentially starting their pitch for their app or their streaming service.
Yes, they are.
Yep. And that's the thing. Part of it was like, why would you buy a Disney movie now? I'd probably wait until that starts before I'd start buying anything. It's like, true. Screw it. I'm just going to put my money into paying for this every month. I'd never buy a movie of theirs again. So, I mean, because it's a good price. But, yeah. So, all right.
All right.
So, there's our question.
Show me what you got.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, trying to think what else we got here. All right, so I think I'm going to do a few shower thoughts, unless you have anything else to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, somebody gave me a shower thought, and I forgot what it was. Damn it, I've forgotten about it. I'm going to look it up while you shower thought. So
okay.
I can find it.
All right. Yeah, the problem is I got to find...
I think it was in a Kik group.
Oh, yeah? Doorknob locks on bedrooms are more of a communication tool than a security measure.
That's true. It's so true.
Water guns are literally just wireless hoses.
Fruit Loops are just gay Cheerios, and we should be calling them Querios.
Oh man, this is one I've heard before, but 10 years is a short time if you're old, a long time if you're in prison, and a big difference if she's 12.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty awful, yeah. That's funny. The real walk of shame is going back to your friends after bowling a gutter ball. I agree.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed. No. Wow. There are two types of victims. Those who want to make everyone else experience what they went through, and those who want to make sure nobody else goes through the same.
Yep.
Oh, that one. That's true.
This might be a little off topic, but everybody is a freak until you meet a real freak, and now you tied up with something in your butt, wondering how you got there on Tuesday. Okay, maybe it's not a shower thought, but it is funny.
Yeah, whatever. I'm fine with it. If your child ever saves your life, you can say that having sex saved your life.
Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, that's just crude.
Oh, everyone talks about missing 100% of the shots you don't take. No one talks about saving 100% of the ammo you don't use.
Okay.
No, it's true.
It's true.
Like in sports analogies.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one thing, but like if you don't burn a bunch of ammo, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Wow, in 100 years, people will be bewildered that giant ice cubes were floating around our oceans.
That's not good.
No, it isn't. It's terrible. In the Toy Story universe, Annabelle isn't possessed. She's just an asshole.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like this one. This is great. Frankenstein was, in fact, the monster.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that's actually the point of the book.
It actually is.
To some extent, yeah. So, wow. There's a 50-50 chance to put shoes on the correct feet, yet little kids seem to defy the odds.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Find something disturbing?
No, there's just some that are just not good. Toy Story 4 and Child's Play both came out today, and they both have the same premise, but very different stories. That's true. Child's Play is about a doll that comes to life.
But somebody posted a mug that just cracked me up. It literally says, "Your pull-out game is weak. Happy Father's Day." Like that's funny.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Good stuff.
Wow. Two people can be born in completely different parts of the world at the exact same time, and yet one of them will be considered older than the other by a few hours.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Smoking kills people but cures ham.
Okay. That's on dad joke level as well, which is a double bonus.
Totally. That's the stuff I love.
Yeah, when you get the dad joke in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yep. Wow. Since a human is faster on a bike than on foot, imagine if we create a bike for horses.
Okay, that's dad joke dumb.
Yeah. That feels like something that like you're sitting around high with your friends and one of them.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, whoa, what if we make a bicycle for a horse?
Yep.
Oh.
That's what I love about these is like a bunch of them end up being dad level stuff and the others seem like those like high thoughts, which are some of my favorite things. I love when people hit that point of enlightenment, whether it's with alcohol or drugs, that they start coming up with the ways to solve the world's issues. And stuff. It's great stuff. Oh, man.
That's funny.
It's amazing how waterproof we are, considering that we have multiple orifices that directly connect to our insides.
It's true.
Yeah. All right. Wow. All right, so I have two last ones here, I think. So, clapping is giving yourself a high five for someone else's accomplishment. No?
Yeah.
And the last one I'm going to do is send nudes is a perfectly acceptable thing to say if you're a teacher of a college art class.
Yep.
So there you go. There's the shower thoughts for the week.
I don't even have a sound drop for that.
And I mean, I'm it's not like I'm getting these from anywhere special. They're on Reddit. So if you go to the subreddit r/shower thoughts, that's where I'm pulling them from. So hopefully everybody enjoys those, and if not, well, I guess as soon as I start talking about shower thoughts, you could just fast forward the show.
Skip to the end.
Yeah.
That's when you actually pull out your device and you look down and you're like, how many more minutes are left?
Right.
What the fuck did they do for the next 5? I've done that. I've seriously done that. You guys are almost to the, this is the end. And I look down, I'm like, 6 minutes left. What tangent did they find?
Yep. That's right. Oh no. Oh shit.
What happened?
It looks like it stopped recording at some point. Like it didn't record the last bit of what we did. Wow. Yeah. I hit record when we started again, and it didn't record from the point of us talking about Hobie.
Oh, lovely.
Which means, I believe what did we have after that? I think all the moving the needle talk was after that.
Yes.
Fuck.
Oh, I have it all.
Oh, yeah, right, you do.
Oh,
Neat.
I didn't send it to you. Sweet.
Woo.
Leave this in.
Go for it. Yeah. Don't bother me any. Woo.
That's some good
Thought
stuff.
Yeah, whoops-a-daisy.
Whoopsie. Behind the
See,
scenes with salty language.
Man, I haven't had this happen in a while, but it did this once before to where I hit record and it stopped. Like it recorded for like a minute and then it stopped after that for who knows why. So I know I hit the record button, but that's why I looked and I'm like, the graph thingy isn't moving. Like, what is going on here? Ooh, well, I'm really glad you're recording because otherwise we would have lost a good 20
hour.
So, all right. Well, with all that, please head over to saltylanguage.com. Check out. The show links won't be up right away, I don't think, because I don't know when Tony's going to update this. So, but eventually they'll be there. But they'll be in the show notes. If you need them, you can find them. Probably, well, at least I know on Apple they work. I don't know on some of the others if they do, but whatever. If you want to contact the show, like if you want to suggest something to us or send us a shower thought, we'd appreciate that. You can email us at saltylanguage@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at @salty_language. You can find me at Stunami. And Mr. Heno, how about you?
You can find me at Ida Heno on Twitter and check out Moving the Needle Podcast.
At MTN Pod, right?
Yeah, at MTN Pod.
Yeah, just making sure.
Thank you.
You can also check out Heno and I over on The Crazy Life.
Although you won't check me out at all because I've been gone for a couple weeks. Freaking AWOL, that asshole.
So true.
That means you get to hear me share all about the last 2 weeks on the next one.
Yeah, the next episode, all Heno.
Yeah.
Me and Jen aren't even going to bother. We're just going to let you record it and send it.
Send it in. Like, we're taking the night off.
Yeah. You can just splice in some ums and woos and whatever. Yeah.
Some cell phone scratches.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh boy. You can check out our Instagram at Salty Language on the Instagrams, and we're at Salty Language Pod on YouTube. If you'd like to see the replays of some of the past episodes that we've done. And we're part of the I'm out of order here. Damn it. We're part of the Tangibound Network, which can be found at tangiboundnetwork.com. And we're also part of
Danger! Watch your back! Danger!
Entertainment, which can be found at dangerentertainment.net.
I was ready for you this time.
Yeah, I buggered it all up, so it's all right. I'll fix it in post.
Bullshit.
It's maybe the oldest gag in the whole show. Is that I'll fix anything in post.
we're gonna leave in the fact that I almost didn't record 45 minutes for the podcast.
Yep.
Shit.
Yep. That's how you can definitely tell it's not edited much. It's because there's plenty of times where I, bugger something up, and if I'm gonna fix anyone's mistakes, that would be kind of funny, right? Like go through and just fix all my stuff. What a dick!
Totally.
Jeez. All right. Well, again, all the links to everything for us is over at saltylanguage.com. So, go check that out. Go check out the stories and stuffs that we've talked about on here. If you answer the Q of the W, please respond to the original post that I'll throw up on Twitter or Facebook, or use the hashtag Q of the W, please, to make it a little easier for me to find next week. And again, thanks for listening and whatever. So until next week, have a beer, you'll be fine.
And bleed out your conjunctivitis.
Wow, that's...
Get a little red eye going.
Ugh. That's terrible, Henno.
I told you, it's going to be the grape night.
Yeah, well, I hope the Herp Fairy visits you all.
This is the spot where you say, and done, except you're not recording.
Yeah. That's why I don't know if you saw it. I did the
neck.
Yeah. Because I do that normally, like when I'm talking with Tony.
Yeah.
I'll even if I don't say it, I'll just do it.
Yeah, except you're not done because you're not recording shit right now.
That's right. I have no control over
it. And done.
Man.